Hi, I'm Shauna with Infinity Readings. This is the reading for the Aries female for the Valentines season of 2019. Okay, I'm going to get right into it. I have an overview card, a general feminine energy card, and I got two pyramids here. I got a love and sex pyramid, and I got a regular, just general energy pyramid. So I'm going to work my way in here and start with the general feminine energies for the Aries female for the Valentine's season of 2019, so February and March. Okay, so the first card I get for the Aries female is hope. I feel like the female is hopeful. I feel like there's a yearning. Now I'm going to do singles and couples kind of intermingled here as I go, okay? Just so till we get in the swing of things here. The hope here I feel is wrapped up in, I mean, we're talking about love here, and this is what it's all about. I feel like for the singles, we're hopeful that we're going to find a partner that's a good match for us. And for those in partnerships, I feel like they're hopeful that they're going to find the love that they want, okay? I'll leave it at that. And then I also have at the end, I'm going to give you a surrender card, and we'll go through that in the end here. Now the first card I get for the general energies, but getting into the card reading here, is the Five of Wands. That there's a lot of energy here that's waiting to come forward. Now this could be aggression as well, and I feel to a certain degree, I feel in the partnered relationships here, there's a lot of energy that's being withheld, almost like combative energy, but we're trying to hold it back, trying to keep it in. I feel like this active energy for the singles is just that active energy that they're trying to be creative and finding a new partner forward, okay? So the next card I get is the Chariot, 7. And that's interesting because for the singles, I'm getting that they're spurred to move forward here. This is about movement and taking action forward. And that is what, there's a potential here for the singles to want to take action forward to find that partner, and I feel like that's very much in this card. But for the ones in partnered relationships, I feel like this is actually movement and change and action that they're willing to take as well, okay? So no matter if you're single or coupled, there's a lot of fiery energy here, which is, you know, usually the MO of the Aries anyway. They are moving forward with some kind of energy that they're holding. Again, feel it holding back in the partnered relationship, but letting her go in the single, okay? The next card I get is the Eight of Swords. So here we go where it starts to split the energy in two. Now, the Eight of Swords is about a self-contained prison, right? So we're a prison of our thoughts, our beliefs, or something that we hold here. And this is really strategically to do with your love and romance sector here. The Eight of Swords is something blocking. I feel more on the singles end. There's something blocking our path forward. We got a lot of energy we want to move forward and ideas and creative ways that we want to take this. But I feel like there's a belief system here that's holding us back from actually attaining that, okay? So maybe the way that we're acting or something that we're bringing forward, and I feel like this has to do with I want it this way and not willing, because the Aries can be quite fiery and quite in charge and quite emperor-like, right? Masculine or feminine. And this is for the feminine, but taking charge and having those boundaries, maybe a little too many, okay? That's what I'm getting for the singles. Now for the couples, I feel like they feel bound in the relationship to some degree. And the reason is because they're not coming forth with the information that they need to communicate to the partner why they're unhappy. Because the first card I got right away, that Five of Wands in a coupled relationship, she's holding back. She's holding all of the cards, she's holding them, okay? So there's stuff here going on as Aries woman is not coming forth with to the partner to give him any keys. She doesn't want to give him the keys so he can drive it home. She doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to bring her partner in the relationship. So it's not a good sign, okay? So as we move forward here, hope I'm not going too quick. We get the Sun card. Now the Sun is directly on the Chariot. So the Chariot is about taking action and moving forward. We may have some inner conflict, but I feel like the Aries woman, she knows what she wants, so all she has to do is go after it. And I feel like that's highly aspected. The Sun is shining on that, okay? Now, on top of that, we get the Temperance card. Temperance card is about temperance, tempering things, keeping our logic and our mind and our action. I feel like there's a lot of fiery action here that wants to come forward from this female to go and be motivated in certain directions. So the universe kind of coming right in the center of this reading and going, we need to keep control here. We know what we want to go after it. We just have to make sure that we can take our time to do that. The next card I get is the Fool. So the Fool is about journeying in new directions, taking off in new directions and going in new ways. Okay? I feel like in the couples reading here, the Fool is directly on the Eight of Swords. Now the Eight of Swords is that limiting, restrictive feeling I got from her. And the Fool is looking to bring you in a new direction with that. Now, is that breaking out of those chains that are binding you, those belief systems, whatever it is that you're believing that's holding you back? Is it coming to a different point of view with that? Or are we going to turn our back and move in a completely different direction to avoid that? Next card I get is the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is about being abundant and single and affluent and all of that. It's all of those things. We got the Nine of Pentacles. We're almost completely rich. We're abundant within ourselves. Okay, so the singles, I feel like that's just she's really got a hold of the feeling of being single. She's enjoying this feeling of being single, but yet she knows that she's got a lot of energy to go towards a partner, but it's not like she's feeling lonely and distraught, you know. She's keeping herself busy and fiery like that fire sign that she is, and she's just going to go forward with that to attract a partner. So I feel it's somewhat balanced on the singles end. She's working, she's making her money, she's feeling solid, she's feeling abundant, and that in itself can be attractive to a mate, okay? Maybe even without trying, with all that fiery energy that she does have, but nonetheless, okay? The next card I get is the Empress. So the Empress is about being fertile, okay? We don't have any other cup cards here per se that symbolize a pregnancy, but keep that in mind because the Empress is about impregnating things. Could be ideas, could be visions going forward, abundance, harvest, everything. She's feeling abundance with the Nine of Cups and the Empress right next to her. She's feeling very great in her life right now, very abundant, very fruitful, very like I don't need nothing at this point. It's kind of like I don't need a man, but I'm here and I can, you know, this, but I want one. And I think she's really securely in a position where she can do this in a we call that in a magnetic way, because she is abundant on her own, and that's the best way to attract that mate, right? So essentially, if that's what we're doing on the singles end, that is the greatest energy to be in. Okay, now if we're talking about It's interesting. If we're talking about a couple's relationship here, we got two single cards. We've got a mother card. The Empress is the epitome of the mother. So there's a sense here of being motherly or having those abilities within us of taking care of things in that way. But we also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is about being on our own and being independent within that. So we may be a mother, but we may be independent, or a single mother, or feeling like one is the sense I'm getting here. Because the Nine of Pentacles is looking at the Empress. And the energy stops there. I'm going to continue. The next card I get is the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands is in being in defense against someone else, someone coming at you and having to fend yourself off. And then the next card and the last is the Eight of Cups, so is turning your back. So it's almost like there's a situation here. Just give me a minute. So for the singles, we start with the Five of Wands. This is a lot of a potential energy going outward. We just have nowhere for it to go. It's not grounded energy. It's a lot of fiery ideas that we want to bring forth. It comes down to the Chariot and the Eight of Swords. So the Chariot is about movement, taking action. So the single here, she's got all these ideas she wants to take forward, and she's going to start to move on them. And then the Eight of Swords is there on the side, signifying that we've got some blocks here. We've got some belief systems here that we got to watch. And for the singles I was getting, it was that we have some boundaries here, some limitations with partners, bringing in partners. We got to watch our boundaries because we may have a little too many, okay? To actually, it becomes a block instead of just being exact. I know exactly what I want, but it may be a block to a potential partner that's decent, okay? Then we get into the Sun. And the Sun is directly on the Chariot, moving forward, taking action. So it's highly recommended that we take action and move, right, in the direction that we want to go, that we do that. But we temper ourselves to make sure that we're not being overpowering, because that Aries energy can overpower quite quickly. So temper ourselves in our way forward, but still move forward. Then we have the Fool over top of the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is that thing that's, I feel like it's a block in this deck here. The way it's stacked, it's like this is the block, and the Fool is there. It's like taking a new direction. We may be thinking about someone in a new direction, like we may be thinking of someone new to go in that direction, but there's something blocking us because we believe, or we have a belief system within that that's blocking us against that, okay? Now, as we continue, get the Nine of Pentacles. That's about how she's feeling great and fine and wonderful in her single self. The Empress, we may have a single mother here, or someone who is very motherly or mothering of others, okay? And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is about putting up boundaries against others. And I feel like this has to do in romance, because they're talking about, you know, this woman has a lot of control here. She has a lot of, we have the Empress here, and the Aries is very much in charge. The Empress brings a softer, more lenient edge. The Nine of Pentacles is very sturdy in who they are. And I'm getting a sense here that because the Seven of Wands is looking directly at the Empress, they're going to compassion. We could use more compassion here instead of drawing the line so quickly. We end up at the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups is on the Fool, on the Eight of Swords, and all that potential energy. But again, there's a block here in getting what we truly want. Why? Because we keep walking away from things that could have a potential to be good or good for us, right? Good for our way forward. And because of our limitations, and I feel like the Aries female here is putting down a boundary and saying, I'm not having this, that, and the other. And if you got any one of those things, I'm done. I'm out. And these are going to prevent her from being in any sort of relationship here that may be even remotely compatible. We don't have to be talking about marriage, but we need something here to get us forward. And I feel like the block here is the next step. This woman is cheating herself out of learning behavior with the next step kind of dude. And I feel like that's Eight of Swords is just screaming at me. She's got a block. She's got a perimeter here that none of these guys are going to come through. So this new direction that she's taken, or this stance to walk away, not that it's a bad thing, but we got to watch why we're doing it. Are we doing it, you know, like, because they're going, we're being overly picky here to a degree where we may end up alone, is what they said. So we got to watch. So that's for the singles, okay? So that's the general. So just watch that we're not being overly, unreasonably, you know, barriered off to the opposite, or not necessarily opposite, but to the partner. So in the couples, we've got a lot of fiery energy, and right from the beginning when they're talking about couples here of Aries, I feel like there's a lot of repressed anger or repressed arguments or repressed squabbling, or a lot of stuff that this woman is wanting to bring forth to the partner, but, well, I got to rephrase that. They're not wanting to bring it forth. It's just there. They're feeling it. It's getting in their system, but they're not wanting to spit it out, okay? And then the Chariot is about the action that they take forward, and I feel like it goes right back to the Five of Wands. There's a lot of energy here, and I feel like it's very conflictive. Okay, so we may have some Aries here in a partnership that is conflictive. There's a lot of undercurrent, like kind of cut it with a knife, you know, the air's so thick, that kind of thing. And it's just sitting within her. She's holding it all within her. And the Chariot is the symbol of, you know, taking action, but not with the partner. It's like it should go back to the partner. I'm getting a sense here that there's an argument that should go to the partner. It's not being even brought upon. Like we're not dealing. We're bringing all that action and all that anger and all that stuff. It's going out to other people, other areas where it don't belong. And I'm getting a sense that it needs to go to the partner. This needs to be back and forth with the partner, but there's no way. And the Eight of Swords is symbolizing, yeah, no, I am not taking, and not only that, I'm not taking my blindfold off either. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have this information, and I'm not going to tell nobody about it. So that's the sense I'm getting on the partners, or the coupled side. Then the Sun is here on the action card again. If we take action and we speak our truth, all that stuff that's built up inside that is highly aspected for the furtherment of the relationship, it's going to help. It's good. It's a good thing to come forward with that. Now, next card is the Temperance, but we got to watch. We got to temper ourselves before, because all of that built up energy going forward to the partner, we got to watch our temper, that it doesn't get out of hand. There's a lot of stuff that's built here, and it's not at step 1, 2, 3. It's step 9, 10, 11. We're at the top of our explosion zone, so we got to watch that. And that's the thing. I feel like this person, like whatever energy I'm picking up on here, just not going to let it go. So therefore, we got to watch, because then it starts to affect our health. So the Temperance is there, you know, in the middle. Again, cool it, you know. But how are we going to cool it if we don't deal with it? It can only build, right? So the next card we get is the Fool, going in a new direction. I feel like that's her taking it out in different directions. I'm going in a different direction. I'm not dealing with where, like, there's a sense here we could diffuse things. It's heated at this point, quite high. I would say almost boiling point is what they told me, boiling point. But I feel like if we, you know, go in the right way, it can diffuse it. We can bring it down. But there's just no willingness. This is kind of bringing from my other reading here that I had in the winter. Nonetheless, the Fool. New directions. She's taking all that anger and resentment, and she's just throwing it out in different directions. That's the strategy she's got. So on the Sun card, we get the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is about singles. So feeling single and feeling worthy. And I feel like this person feels financially stable in the relationship. And I feel that's what that is the epitome of. I feel financially stable here. And that's that. The Empress symbolizes, you know, we get a family here. We got a mother figure. Someone that is, again, needing to take more compassion forward. Look at the compassionate side of things here. If we cannot do that, we have to remove, we have to remove ourselves until we can do this. So there may be a situation where some of these Aries females are in a combustible situation that they kind of need to get out of physically. Then we have the Seven of Wands is in defense, and I feel like the partner of this Aries female is coming forth because they know there's stuff here. They know there's information, and it's almost like two kids. It's like you know, one's hiding the toy behind his back. And he's like, I know you got that toy. Let me have it. And they're like, no, I'm not going to give it to you. But in the meantime, they don't want it. They don't want to play with it. They're just keeping it from that person because they want it, and they don't want to play with it. They're just being selfish in that way. I'm not going to let them have it. So that's the sense I get here with the Seven of Wands. It's kind of putting up a defense because they know the partner's onto them and needing that information. But it would one up the partner if I gave the information, so they're not going to do that. And they feel that it's me against them. So they're not going to, and in actuality, they're kind of defeating that, right? Because if they gave up to the partner, then we could solve, then it could dissipate. But instead, I'm getting a sense the Aries female is just letting it build till, you know, we get to a point where we're just going to see red and then damage happens. But they're not thinking that far ahead. They're just thinking, no, I'm not. I'm just opposing everything that's coming at me. I'm in defense, and that's it. I'm defending myself, feeling attacked highly, but not looking at it logically is what I'm getting. So the last card is the Eight of Cups and walking away. So we may have some people in here that are in the midst here where we need a separation, or we're outright leaving the relationship, or needing a timeout, you know, that kind of a thing. Timeout or separation. But the Eight of Cups is really going because we have put a lot of work and we realize that we're going to get something better somewhere else. So if we had the Six of Swords, then I'd be talking about, you know, okay, and then coming back. But this Eight of Cups is kind of finalizes things. So it gives me a sense here that if we have some Aries in relationships, this is kind of make or break time. And I got that in the last reading too, and I was kind of like, I don't believe this. But that's the energy. Can't defeat it. So that was that, okay? So now we're going to move into the love and romance. We'll start out with the head here. And again, we're repeating, I remember this card was, we start with the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups in the romance deck is the dude that goes in to get satisfied and comes back out. There's no emotional center here. We're just looking for physical compatibility, and that's it. So that is the head of the pyramid for the love and sex and romance. So we have a situation here with all of this, you know, talking about couples, okay? With all of this energy here where we're physically into our partner, but there's not much else here. Now, the next card on top of that, the sex card, is the King of Pentacles. So you may be in cahoots with an earth sign, or you may be in a position where you feel attacked by your partner. So you may be, this is interesting, where we may be looking like the physical side is the only thing here. At the same time, I'm getting the King of Pentacles is always an energy that comes at you and is very overwhelming in the bedroom. So feeling like we, these really, the Three of Cups and the King of Pentacles is kind of crazy cards to have together, because the Three of Cups is about going somewhere and getting satisfied physically, and the King of Pentacles is about running away from being physically attacked because of whatever reason. So it's almost like we've got one person walking in the door wanting to get physically satisfied and another person running out the back because they don't. Okay, so we'll see where this goes here. The next card on the romance side is the Eight of Canes. So the Eight of Canes is about a one-night stand. So that backs up this theory here of the Three of Cups. So we may have had someone here who went out and had a one-night stand with someone out of a relationship, if we're staying on the couples here, which I'm going to do. I'm going to stay on the couples and then go back to the singles. Sorry for back and forth, but I just got to feel the energy out here. So the Three of Cups is about getting physically satisfied and not having an emotional connection. The Eight of Wands is about having a one-night stand and finding emotional connection. So if we have someone in a marriage, they may have stepped out, had a one-night stand, and found that they're very highly tied to someone outside of the relationship. Okay? Now, what goes on top of this is 20, the Judgment card. And the Judgment is about a karmic tie. Now we have two cards here back to back from love and sex. So there's sense here that someone's been romanced into a physical side of things. And not only that, but the universe is tying them together. So that's interesting. We'll see what's going on here. If we can make sense. Next we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant on the romance side is about the innocence and also the marriage, right? Things that are of a, how do you say? It also can symbolize the Taurus energy, but yeah, about laws that govern relationships is what they're telling me. They're going, this is about a marriage and about the laws that govern that marriage, and this is about, you know, in the church, about how, and the white is about the innocence of that. On top of that, we have 21, the World, which is interesting because we have Judgment and then the World, and those are the two back to back. Now the World is about a completion of a marriage. Interesting. I'm going to continue. The next card we get on the romance is the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about getting to know someone, flirting. Do you like me? I like you. I want to touch your hand, and, you know, really being turned on by someone, but it's the beginning process here. We're at the Six of Swords. We're moving towards, right? Because there it is. There was the Six of Swords, right? Moving towards someone in a romantical kind of way, okay? This is going to bode better for the singles than the couples here. I'm really trying to make sense of this. Then on top of the Six of Swords, which is the getting to know a new person. If we're in a marriage, we don't get to know. It doesn't make sense here. Flirting. The Knave of Swords. So the Knave of Swords is about objectifying the human body, whether it's male or female, it don't matter. It's about looking at someone and liking them for their body, okay? Objectifying for that. So the only way I can make sense of this is that we have a partner here that may be objectifying our body to a degree that we feel unappreciated, okay? And I'm going to continue. The next is the Seven of Swords. Oh man, I cannot have those two cards together. Three Cups and Seven of Swords, about betrayal. Then we have the Three of Pentacles on that, betrayal to someone who is, because we have a repulsion here from one partner, and then we have an attraction here that is complete opposite. Three of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Man. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Swords, which talks about truth and clarity, cutting through illusions to the point that it could hurt, and Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is about old partners, old flames, somebody from the past coming in here that we have fond feelings for. So let me tune in. I'm going to go to the singles for a minute here, and hopefully this will all churn down. Now, Three of Cups is about going out and being physical with things, but not much else is hitting. So we may be on the single side and dating and going and finding partners, but we're not finding any that are actually on our level. In fact, we're finding them to be a little overwhelming, okay? Because the King of Pentacles here in this deck, he is overpowering. So there's a sensitivity here to the Aries female. She's not having that. Now as we move forward, we have the Eight of Wands here and the Judgment. Now on the single side is very easy. We had a one-night stand with someone we're feeling a lot of feelings for, okay? We've also been playing the field. So the Judgment is here to kind of say, okay, look, we got to slow down here because we got one here that could do us good. And the Judgment is tying two people together because they got lessons to learn. They may not be the perfect match, but we got lessons to learn here. Now, the Hierophant is hovering here for the singles, symbolizing the purity that we can get from this person. We may even get lessons and purity from this person, helping us to move forward in a new direction. And the World is there to symbolize that we have ended a process here and we are ready for a new beginning. As I get into the Six of Swords, it talks about the flirting and the introductory introductory flirting to getting into a relationship. There's good feelings and warming up to someone, really is the sense I get from the Six of Swords. We're warming up to someone else. And then we get the Knave of Swords on top of that. So we're warming up to them romantically, but physically as well. There's a high attraction. So on the single side, there's a lot of fire here for every level, right? Now, we get the Seven of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Now, on the single side is a very clear scenario comes out. Is the Three of Pentacles is fun-loving sexual energy. So these two are, you know, we got a single scenario here where these guys are playing the field. They're jumping into something and there's a lot of physical chemistry going on. But Seven of Swords talks about deception. So there may be some deception in amongst that, okay? The next card is about the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords, and I feel like the deception for the singles is coming to the surface. I feel like there may be some deception here that the partner has been through or can affect the relationship, but I feel like the honesty might be able to save something here. But nonetheless, we might have a situation where for the singles, somebody went back to an ex, had an oops, and now they're coming back to tell you and get through this, okay? That's what I'm getting, because the Six of Cups here is just, they're just showing me, yeah, it was an oops, and we went back to our ex, but it was almost in the introductory phase of this relationship, so we might have a chance of getting through here. And if we got honesty coming through, we might have a chance of, you know, it doesn't look good, but we may have a chance here. And I feel like there's a tie here beyond just the regular, you know, run-of-the-mill. We've got a tie here, and the World card is completion and ready to go. And when you tie two people together, there's a lot more there. There's either more looks or more traction or more magnetic pull. There's something there that binds these two. So that's the thing, is they're really going to have to work through some stuff here for the Aries singles. Now, going back to the couples, man, I'm just trying to... If we go back to the couples, we have a marriage here and the World card on top of it, symbolizing simply the end of a marriage. We have done our part here in a marriage. I hate to say this, but this is what's coming out. Now, Judgment has come and taken either one or both of the partners into, I feel like it's one of the partners, if it's not the Aries female, and karmically tied them to someone else or attracted them to someone else, or that they've done this themselves. They've found that person outside of the relationship. They've gone and built, and now they're feeling all these feelings, and they're feeling very tied to that, okay? We could also have a situation here where we had an affair with someone outside of the marriage, because the marriage that we were in had a situation where we felt like we were being attacked in the bedroom, okay? There's too much aggression in the bedroom is what I'm getting. So we have a situation where, yeah, we have an ending to a marriage here. And the Judgment card, man, I've never seen these two side by side. It's like the end of something here, okay? And as we go into the end of what we have, is like a warming up to someone else outside of the relationship. The Knave of Swords is we're very physically attracted to each other. We visually, we love what we see, and you know, it's all good and gravy. Now in the middle, that's more solid, is the deception. There's deception here nonetheless. Now, is it just from the partner, from the Aries female and the partner that she's with? This could symbolize that. Absolutely, that's what it's symbolizing. And Three of Pentacles is saying, you know, not only do we, you know, adore each other physically on the looks wise, but the Three of Pentacles is saying, boys, is the physical side is really good. It's really grounded. I feel like home. I'm, you know, that kind of thing that's hard to crack. Then we end up with the Ace of Swords and the Six of Cups. Now, they're telling me the rules change here when it flips to the couples, because this sword, Ace of Swords, is about truths that come out, and they're going, yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah, there's something here about someone from the past. So, okay, oh man, this is one of the more complex energetic readings that I've had here. This Aries female, if she is contributed to a relationship outside of her own, it is someone that she either knows from her past or is been sitting with this energy for a long time, okay? So there's a lot of energy that has gone in this direction, but I feel like it's just recently that they've actually crossed that line. Now, what's going on is they're going, the truth here is not so free and clear like it is in the singles. Singles, the guy comes forth, says, okay, yeah, I had an affair with my ex and I want to, you know, I want to make things okay. How are we going to deal with this? He just lays everything out. Okay. Now the Aries here in this situation, she ain't laying it out. The Betrayal card here gives me a sense that somewhere, some way, something has come out, but I feel like she's still hiding behind the fact that she can say, no, I didn't do it. Like deny it. So there's something interesting going on here, because it's almost like there's an energy of we indulged, and now we're working on pursuing that. There's not just, we have a one night stand here, but after the one night, now we're feeling feelings and we want to stay. We want to go in that direction, okay? So if we're married, it's a problem here. The World card, there's an ending here that comes no less from this, but I feel like none of this has been revealed, okay? I feel like this is still a secret on the Aries female side. Now, the interesting part, she goes forward in that direction to warm that side up, keep it going, right? Because we have a tie here. And it's mutually, there's a sense here of mutually liking what we see in both and physically indulging in that again. I get a sense here it's more than once, or wanting to engage more than once. Seven of Swords is about the betrayal, and again, that's about someone feeling, but okay, here's what it is. Yeah. So what's going on here is the relationship that she's stepped out on is suffering, because they do feel this on a certain level, but they may not be able to pinpoint exactly what's going on, okay? So what's going on here is there's been betrayal. Someone stepped out and indulged in a very homey, very grounded relationship that they feel groovy in, and it was not their partner. And so now we have the Ace of Swords, which is the truth, and they're going to just, the truth has not come out yet. Now, the Six of Cups is about this woman looking back. It's because the Six of Cups is about a past love, right? Focusing on a past love. So this woman is really focusing on that person in the day because this isn't really processed yet. So we have a situation here where the truth has not come out yet, but I feel very strongly it will. It's interesting because the sense here is that we have an ending, but not under the pretense of this affair. So the partner does not know of an affair, but it's breaking for some other reason, okay? This relationship is breaking, and this person's going to try and take that away, but I feel like, you know, it's going to get revealed one way or another, and I think that was in my last reading as well for the partners. In a little bit different way I said it, but yeah, it's the same, some of the same cards coming out, and it's just crazy how it does this. But nonetheless, so yeah, for the for the singles, I don't mean to laugh, it's not a laughing situation, it's just very complex, and very interesting because it seems like there's a person here that is going to lose a relationship, but not for the reasons that they truly are losing it for. They're going to go under a guise of something else, whatever that is. I feel like it's just a degrading of the relationship. They're going to put it under that cloud instead of saying I had an affair, because they don't want to be at fault. I feel like that's the Aries female, doesn't want to be at fault, so they're just going to create havoc till it busts apart and go, that's okay. But in the meantime, it's really because they've fallen in love with someone else, or have great feelings for someone else, and there's an attraction to someone else outside of the relationship. So for cross watchers, not good. But nonetheless, there's someone stepping out here, and the first step that they go is somebody that they're karmically tied to, right? So there's a feeling here that's deeper than the average to resist, and the Aries usually do what others don't, so this could really get them into trouble. So again, for the females who are single, they're out, there's a fiery energy of movement and wanting to go through that process of finding a partner, but we may be putting a little too many limitations on ourselves or the partner to jump through, too many hoops they got to jump through, so we may not be on that side getting too much that is going to filter through right to the good pile. So for right now, the movement is good. They want her to take her time and just think and temper herself. Especially I feel when it comes to the defensive stance she has to take against, because they're going, this is about learning, relationships are about learning and growing, and if we bury ourselves off so much so that we don't gain a partner, we cannot learn to grow and mature through that. So that's what they're kind of showing here for the singles, okay? And then for the couples, again, a very sticky situation. There's a lot of repressed energy here from the partner, but I think it's just repressed, period. We have a situation here where we're trying to keep things on the down low, and I feel like it's all coming to a head one way or another. May not be the truth that comes out at this point, but it's definitely a breakdown of a relationship nonetheless. So I have a surrender card here that I have, and I'm going to bring that out for any blocks for either the singles or the couples. And the surrender card that I have for the Aries female is surrender to your addiction. So whether you're addicted to substance, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So we may have some female Aries here that are addicted, and they're realizing the sexual energy thing here has got a hold on them, okay? Because there's a lot of ties here in the cards, and it could just be that we're tied to physical side of things with people and partners and not having a realization of the damage. I think they realize, but not taking it into account. We're just jumping, right? Because Aries jump, they go, they do, they take action. When other people hesitate, they'll go. So this is the problem here. So if we're in an addictive mode, we got to take care of that and be aware of that, because that may be part of what's going on here. So hopefully that helps you in some kind of way get through. And the first card was about hope. And for the singles, I feel like it is, she's hopeful she's going to find the perfect thing. And the universe is going, we got to be careful we don't put too many boundaries, because we got to let some in here, and we got to learn as we go. And I feel on the couples side here, I feel the hope is of finding love on all levels for whatever reason, okay? This woman stepped out on a relationship she was not happy with. I feel like there's a communication breakdown from the beginning. So that's the problem, right? That's the initial problems. We have communication breakdown. Because I feel like there's a lot of repressed energy from the Aries female to her partner in a partnered relationship. And I feel like the hope is that she can gain what she wants on all levels. Like, she's not satisfied in the relationship that she's in, but the partner didn't know. But she didn't come forth to the partner to let the partner know what she wanted and didn't want. So in a sense, right, that's very imbalanced. But the hope here is that she's going to find what she wants or what she feels she needs. And that's, I feel, looking outside of the relationship or looking towards something else other than what's sitting in front of her. So I hope that she'll gain on all levels what she wants. There's a missing link here that in her partner, and she just, I don't know if she knows what it is, but she's hoping that there's something else, you know, something else will fix it. So that's the sense I'm getting from the Aries female. So dicey situation. Sorry for those who are in it, because it's not a very, it's yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of politics in here, but not in a good way. So for the Aries female, man, that is your reading for the winter season. It kind of does still stick with the energy that I set in the winter yet. And a lot of the readings that I set out for seasonals, you really almost got to wait a month or two before and then look again, because they really can intertwine. The energies can intertwine quite heavily, and I might even be in too soon yet. But to really let that energy pass through, because the energy is kind of coming through. And I will say this too, that a lot of energies are they're just staying where they're at. They're not progressing. We're not progressing to a degree where it shifts the energy any. So that could be what's happening as well. So for the Aries female, for the Valentines for 2019, that is your reading. Take care, have fun, and be kind.